So East Palestine, I know that we're trying to make progress there. People are now saying they're running out of bottled water. What? Why has there just been no response here, Doug? It's just hard for people to understand.
So on the Ohio board side of the border, of course, we have a Republican governor, and then on the Pennsylvania side, you were there. It's right on the Pennsylvania border. We have a Democrat governor. Going to speak firsthand in my engagement with the Shapiro administration. Don, they told me they want to move on from this. They looked. One of his cabinet members looked me in the eye as I was talking to him about Katie Schwartzwalder that you had on your show, and her Doberman kennel. And the dogs are being born now, deformed or sick or dead. And he looked at me in the eye, this one cabinet member goes, well, Doug, we're trying to move on from that. I'm like, dude, you're never moving on from this, man, because it's going to slap you in the face. People there are suffering. They need help. The water shortage should never happen. We should have our National Guard assets deployed up there pumping out filtered water. And we have multiple teams. We have the second largest National Guard in the nation in Pennsylvania. And it's just complete lackadaisical attitude that my governor would be jetting off to the Grammys during this crisis and then to the Super Bowl, and his skybox was Katie Hobbs and having a good time down in Arizona while there was a real crisis. In the case of Katie, she's since bought property 20 some miles away. I mean, this is catastrophic for these families. Most of the families can't even move. One family did sell their house for $1 per square feet. I mean, they lost 150% of the value on their land, 2 acres, nice house, and they need help. So my bill, I've done more than anyone in Ohio or in Washington, D.C., on trying to help these people here. But of course, our bills are stuck now. I've moved all the measures I can out of the Senate, but because the House is so dysfunctional, they have not moved my legislation to provide emergency funds to the people in Western Pennsylvania that need help, that want to get out of there, or for aid or for recognizing this as a national disaster, which would free up FEMA money. I don't know. You just had an excellent interview before I got on talking about the debt ceiling and how much money, trillions of dollars are spending. John, the irony, they have no money for the people in Eastern Ohio or Western Pennsylvania who need it most. It's just the irony. This administration in D.C. and in Harrisburg, their priorities are wrong. In D.C., they're letting our border just collapse down in the Southwest. And then, of course, Josh Shapiro is continuing Wolf's policies of bringing in these illegals and dumping them in our cities. That in New York, they're kicking veterans out of hotels and putting illegals in their rooms is just sick to me. Our priorities are messed up.
Why the abandonment? It's another thing we can't figure out. You've got these illegals that they're flying into Wilkes-Barre. We talked about this a week ago, and now you're throwing veterans and families out of hotels. I mean, there was a hotel in New York over the weekend where there was a wedding. And they basically canceled their rooms, which were paid for, and just dumped in 150 illegal aliens, the people that broke the law. So you're a law-abiding citizen. You're paying for your rooms. You get tossed out because you get illegals coming in who aren't paying anything, who broke the law to get there. It's like we're stepping into the cartoon network and then stepping out of it. It's just, you can't understand what this government is trying to do. And these poor people in East Palestine, Doug, and I thank you for all you've done for them, but they're just ignored. They're just kicked to the curb like they don't matter.